You don't lose it all, but you lose some progress from once human season ends. Tyler Wilde over PC
Ouch.
Gamer. Yeah, dude, we see a lot of this coming over to the world of consoles now and stuff. So this is pretty usual, pretty standard for MMOs from what I'm starting to understand. And well, it's a PC game, so let's go. Free-to-play survival game Once Human is offering the archetypal survival game launch experience. It's a giant buggy to-do list that everyone you know is playing. With well over 100,000 concurrent players at its peak, it's one of the top games on Steam right now. One of the slightly less controversial aspects of Once Human is its seasonal structure. Each server is associated with a seasonal scenario, and at the end of the season, it disappears and new seasonal server launch with new scenarios. Some players have braced for a total progress wipe at the end of the first 6-week scenario. Oh man. But in a post on Steam today, developer Starry Studios explained that the system isn't quite that extreme. Quote, "We are aware that many players are concerned that their in-game progress will be reset in 6 weeks, but we are here to reassure you that this will not happen." End quote, wrote the studio. Quote, "We value the time and effort you put into the game, so the items and gear you have obtained from the seasonal scenario will retain in various ways." End quote. It is true that characters revert to level 1 at the start of a new season, and that they'll start on a fresh, unrevealed map. Dude, I like that idea though. But players will be able to carry a good deal of progress between seasons, including their blueprints, furniture formulas, cosmetics, and custom house blueprints. Completed story tasks will be remembered, and players will be able to redo, quote, streamlined, end quote, versions of them to get their associated rewards. Resources like ammunition and medicine will also be, quote, partially, end quote, carried over. Here's the full list of what you get to keep in the developer's words. Important currency. Dude, there's a lot of things here that just make no sense to me at all when it comes to their currency, but there's a bunch of it, to say the least.
Yeah, there's a currency that's called Christians, but they're spelt funny. I thought that was interesting.
Sproutlets? Just like, what is this, man? Okay. You get to keep your gear blueprints and their stars, blueprint fragments, weapons, accessories, and mods, furniture formulas, cosmetics, expressions and poses, name cards, and more. House blueprints. After a house blueprint is saved, you can reconstruct the building at any time. If advanced materials are not available, basic materials will be used in building instead. Okay. Main story and side quest tasks. For the tasks you already completed, you can accept more streamlined versions of them in the new season, but will get all the rewards. Your friend list will fully carry over. I would hope so. Furthermore, you can check which players joined your war bond in the previous season and add them to your friends list. The following content and resources will only be partly carried over when you decide to enter a new season and start a new journey. Quote, essential resources like materials, medicine, and ammunition can be carried over into a new season based on item transferring rules, so you can progress faster in the new season. End quote. So it's not a total reset, but enough, presumably, to challenge players with the new seasonal threats by making them climb the new tech tree again. Scott, what are your thoughts?
You know, I think this detail of this game actually kills it for me. I wasn't particularly incredibly curious to get in there. I have not yet played, so that's evidence enough. But the idea of any sort of reset just is incredibly frustrating to me, and I have worries for the game at large because of this. Because if they're going to do this reset, I see this as a way of sneaking in monetization. Because if you're gonna get all your items reset, well, unless you pay for the extra slot that doesn't get reset,
right,
or something similar. And I'm not sure why we need to be doing this reset in general. Is it just to change up the map? Well, that could just be a fog of war. Is it just to introduce new items and new seasons and new content that way? Well, sure. I don't know why the traditional update method is no good in this case.
I wonder how much the map changes. Like, is it completely revamped, reset, and completely different? So I appreciate that. New season, now you're exploring a new area. Cool. That works for me. how does that get generated, right? Is it procedurally generated every time, every new season comes around? They just pop out a new map, kind of like you take that World of Fortnite, dude. They've varied that map over and over and over again, right? But it always seems fresh and exciting, pulling players back in. I think that's what they're kind of trying to pull away from, pull onto that heartstring a little bit of, hey, you're so used to this, we're going to give you something fresh. I can appreciate the fresh part. That's how you keep players engaged. That's how you keep the game exciting. The complete reset, the level 1, kind of hurts. Dude,
yeah, this is a construction survival kind of game. What happens if we build a town? Now, I have zero incentive to build anything that's long-lasting or incredibly detailed. Sure, I could reprint that building, but it's just going to get wiped again. What's the point?
Yeah, so why bother, right? I think that is the part. People want to go in. Dude, Minecraft. You go in and you build and you build and you build until the people have built cities. And could you imagine going
to, hey, Terraria for me.
We're going to wipe out your city. Start over. That's not, no, I ain't doing that, man. I've done so much time, and you invest so much time, but now you need to almost pick where you want to put your time in. I like the building aspect of a lot of games, right? And Shrouded had me hooked to the point where that's all I was really doing. I was going out, gathering my resources, coming back and building. If they were to wipe all that time out, I invested in building my home, dude, I'd just be devastated. I wouldn't want to come back to the game. No. So I'm curious to see how much if your building gets wiped, yeah, you can rebuild it as per the blueprint. The problem is, if you don't have all the materials, especially if you've used some of the more advanced materials, dude, you just get the basic stuff. So you don't even get the same building planted back again. I don't know about this. We want to hear from everybody else, though. ITGTV.com. Is this a problem for you guys?